Elizabeth came to the hospital December 4th, and she has lupus, and she had to have heart valve replacement.
Elizabeth was at an outpatient dialysis center in Goodyear.
I was about to go home. It was in the evening. It was late.
And Elizabeth went into full cardiac arrest.
They called a code arrest overhead in the ER.
They said that if she went into cardiac arrest again, she would die.
Elizabeth was actually 27 years old and had 4 young daughters at home.
So we decided, we need to cool her. We need to do it now.
She was literally the very first patient that we tried this therapy on.
I didn't know what hypothermia was, and when they said, Lizzie, we're going to do this, and I trusted them.
Slapped on the cold pads on her body, ran cold saline into her to get her temperature down.
And they performed hypothermia on her, and that's what saved her life. That's what saved her life.
There have been studies and reports for many, many years and decades, in fact, where people have been submersed underwater who have lost their vital signs, are not breathing, they've lost their heart rate. Really, essentially, they're dead, and they've been brought to life and revived back. Well, therapeutic hypothermia is really an extension of this same philosophy, and that is that if we can keep the brain cooled down and thereby resuscitate the person and get their heart rate back and get their vital signs back and get their blood pressure back, that we offer them a chance really to recover fully.
Cardiac arrest used to be a death sentence. For the last 50 years or so, there really hasn't been any change in survival rates from cardiac arrest. It's basically, national average is around 3%. That's not a great survival rate. And survival means, going home to your family, being able to speak to them and do things, not always to return to work, but a meaningful life. A lot of times in ICU, we deal with a lot of people who make it through stuff and don't make it back to a meaningful life. So it's nice to have something that does work for some people to return them to their families and their loved ones in their life. It doesn't happen all that often, and when you can do that for people, it's very rewarding. This was sort of my baby, if you will. I did all of the education, I did a lot of the research, I built the protocol.
He educated himself, not only with the literature, with looking at equipment, with helping us to determine what we needed in order to implement the protocol.
He made sure that everybody knew what role they would play if we ever had to implement it. So it was really nice that Matt was there for the very first patient that we had. It takes a whole team working together to save a patient, and especially in Elizabeth's case, that definitely was a team effort.
I can think of a lot of people right off the top of my head who go that extra mile beyond just doing their job, clocking in and out.
Because she was here during Christmas time. They took up a collection, and they got a Christmas tree in her room and presents for her kids. They let the kids come over, and they just had a party for her.
Oh, I was so surprised. They didn't even tell me until my kids were walking in. Like, I woke up and I saw the tree, and then my kids walked in. So it was so amazing.
We called them our family because they took such good care of Elizabeth and me, because I stayed there with her the whole time.
To give your employees this kind of opportunity and see the difference that they can make, it's incredible.
Joe Adkins, our CEO, is very, very supportive of everything that we do, and especially this therapy. She actually made it possible for us to get some of the equipment we needed to do the therapy. She had to get an emergency fund request to do it, and she's given me time, space, and latitude to make it happen.
It starts with that sense of trust. And once you have that trust and you give people the latitude, you can help them to find where their strengths are.
That's one of the things I like about Abrazo, is that it's not a really strict corporate model. There's definitely corporate guidance, but they allow us to innovate. They don't try to breed out innovation. They allow us to try and do our jobs in different ways.
Matt embodies the values of innovation, of respect, of patient safety. And if you look at this particular protocol, he brought all of those together.
Definitely the therapeutic hypothermia protocol that we put in place saved Elizabeth's life. It saved her brain, we saved her body, and if we hadn't met that innovation or brought that innovation in, it never would have happened.
I would like to tell them that I'm so grateful to them, that they're just the best people in the world, and I would never choose another hospital, and I would tell anybody to come to this hospital because I'm here because of them.